Jeff Bezos is not just one of the richest men alive, he is the man who built one of the largest companies in history. Amazon started as a small online bookstore and grew into a $200 billion empire that changed how the world shops, reads, and even thinks about business. Behind this empire are principles and lessons that Bezos applied to money, risk, and growth. I spent time studying his philosophy and his story, and I realized that the same patterns can be applied to everyday life. You do not need billions to think like Jeff Bezos. You just need the right mindset about money, growth, and risk. So in this script, I will share with you 7 powerful money lessons I learned from Jeff Bezos' $200 billion empire and how applying them can change the way you handle your own finances. Lesson 1. Focus on the customer, and the money will follow. One of the strongest lessons Bezos teaches is that money is the result of serving the customer, not the other way around. From the beginning of Amazon, his obsession was not on quick profit, but on creating the best possible customer experience. He often said that if you build a great experience, customers will tell each other, and word of mouth is powerful. When I applied this lesson, I realized that chasing money directly often leads to short-term results. But when you focus on creating value, money naturally flows to you. This lesson works in business, freelancing, or even side hustles. If you put the customer first, profits will eventually come. Most people do it backwards. They focus on money first and the customer second. That is why they struggle. Bezos built Amazon by flipping this equation. Lesson 2. Think long-term. Jeff Bezos is famous for his long-term thinking. While most businesses focus on the next quarter's earnings, Bezos was planning 10 years ahead. He was willing to lose money for years in order to build the foundation of Amazon. Investors complained, competitors mocked, but in the end, his patience created one of the most valuable companies in history. The money lesson here is powerful. Short-term thinking keeps you stuck. Long-term thinking builds wealth. Whether it is saving, investing, or building a career, you need to see years ahead, not just weeks. When I shifted my mindset to long-term planning, my spending changed. I started asking, will this expense or decision matter in 5 years? If not, it is not worth it. That simple question helped me save more, invest smarter, and grow steadily. Lesson 3. Take calculated risks. Bezos left a high-paying job on Wall Street to start an online bookstore. To most people, that decision looked insane. But for Bezos, it was a calculated risk. He created what he called the regret minimization framework. He asked himself, when I am 80 years old, will I regret not trying to build this? The answer was yes, so he took the leap. This is a money lesson for all of us. Wealth does not grow by playing it safe forever. You have to take calculated risks, investing in yourself, starting a project, or trying something new. The key is calculation. Bezos did not take blind risks. He studied, planned, and then jumped. When I applied this lesson, I realized that some of my biggest financial wins came from risks I was initially scared of. Playing safe feels comfortable, but it rarely changes your life. Lesson 4. Build systems, not just goals. Bezos did not just set a goal to sell books online. He built a system that could deliver any product to anyone, anywhere. That system is what turned Amazon from a bookstore into the everything store. The money lesson here is clear. Do not just set financial goals like, I want to save 1,000. Build systems that create wealth automatically. For example, automate your savings so money is set aside before you spend. Invest regularly, no matter what. Create side income streams that continue running even when you are not working. When I started building systems instead of just chasing goals, my financial life became smoother. Systems create consistency. Goals fade when motivation disappears, but systems keep running. Bezos' empire is built on systems, not wishes. Lesson 5. Embrace failure as an investment. Amazon has had huge successes, but it has also had massive failures. Projects like the Fire Phone cost billions and went nowhere. But Bezos always said that failure is part of innovation. He even claimed that Amazon's size is directly linked to the size of its failures. This is a money lesson most people avoid. We fear failure so much that we never try. But every failure is an investment in learning. Bezos used each failure to guide future success. Without the Fire Phone's failure, Amazon might not have developed Alexa and Echo devices, which became a success. When I applied this lesson, I stopped fearing financial mistakes. Yes, I lost money in some experiments, but each loss taught me something that helped me grow stronger. Failure is tuition, not a dead end. Lesson 6: Frugality creates innovation. Bezos is known for his philosophy of frugality. In Amazon's early days, he made desks out of old doors to save money. This was not just about being cheap. It was about forcing creativity. Frugality pushed Amazon employees to find smarter ways to solve problems without overspending. The personal money lesson is this: living within your means is not just about saving. It is about unlocking creativity. When you have limits, you think harder, work smarter, and use resources wisely. When I practiced frugality, I discovered that I could live well without overspending. I found cheaper alternatives, built better habits, and stopped wasting money on things that did not matter. Bezos showed that frugality is not weakness. It is strength. Lesson 7: Always reinvent and diversify. Jeff Bezos never stopped reinventing Amazon. From books to electronics, to cloud computing with Amazon Web Services, to entertainment with Prime Video, he constantly expanded. He did not rely on one income stream. He created many. The money lesson here is obvious but powerful. Do not depend on a single source of income. Just like Amazon, your financial life should have multiple streams. Relying on one job, one client, or one investment is risky. Diversification creates security and growth. When I applied this, I built side hustles, invested in different areas, and developed multiple skills. The result was financial stability. Even if one stream slowed, the others kept me afloat. This is exactly how Amazon became unstoppable. It kept reinventing and diversifying. How these lessons changed my thinking after studying Bezos's $200 billion empire and applying these lessons, my view of money completely shifted. I stopped obsessing over quick gains and started focusing on long-term systems. I became more comfortable with risk because I knew that regret is worse than failure. I stopped fearing mistakes and began seeing them as investments in growth. Most importantly, I started treating money as a servant, not a master. Like Bezos, I realized money works best when you use it to create value, serve people, and build systems that last. Obsess over compounding. Jeff Bezos often talks about compounding, not only in money, but in effort, decisions, and habits. He once explained that life is like compound interest. Small, smart choices made consistently grow into massive results over time. Amazon itself is proof of compounding. Starting with books, the company reinvested every bit of profit into new categories, new technology, and new systems. Over decades, those reinvestments multiplied into e-commerce dominance, cloud computing through Amazon Web Services, and countless innovations. Bezos was not chasing overnight success, he was chasing exponential growth through compounding. The money lesson here is simple but life-changing. Treat your money like a snowball. Save, invest, and let it roll forward. Each year adds more weight, more momentum, and more power. Most people fail because they stop too early or they chase shortcuts. Bezos built his empire by respecting the power of compounding. Patience plus consistency equals wealth. When I applied this lesson, I stopped underestimating small investments and small actions. A few dollars invested regularly grew into hundreds. A small skill practiced daily became a profitable service. Compounding is invisible at first, but unstoppable later. Jeff Bezos' story is not about luck. It is about vision, discipline, and mindset. He took ordinary principles, customer obsession, long-term thinking, calculated risks, systems failure, frugality, and reinvention, and turned them into extraordinary results. His empire teaches us that wealth is not built by chance. It is built by patterns, habits, and the courage to think differently. You may not build a 200 billion company, but you can build financial freedom by applying the same lessons. Focus on value, think long-term, take smart risks, build systems, learn from failure, practice frugality, and diversify. These are not just business strategies. They are life strategies. Money lessons from Jeff Bezos are not just for billionaires. They are for anyone willing to think bigger and act smarter. The difference between struggling with money and mastering it is often mindset. If you begin applying even one of these 7 lessons today, you will be surprised by how quickly your financial life starts to change. Remember, the empire began with a single online bookstore. Your empire can begin with a single decision.